Okay, I'm going to show you how to build a 40 meter inverted V. Um, the frequency at which I want to operate is 7.2 megahertz, and the formula for an inverted V is a little bit different from the formula of a standard dipole antenna. The formula is 464 divided by the frequency in megahertz, which in this case is 7.2. The total length of the antenna is 64 feet, so I cut two pieces of wires, number 14 gauge stranded wire, and I cut each piece to 33 feet, which gives me 64 feet. It's a little bit extra because I'm going to have to use some of it for the center conductor, and also I've got to trim a little bit off the edges to fine tune it. Okay, here I'm going to show you how to build a 40 meter inverted V antenna. The formula for an inverted V is a little bit different from the formula of a standard dipole. It's 464 over the frequency in megahertz. In this case, the frequency that I'm going to try to tune the antenna to is 7.2 megahertz, and that comes out to be about 64 feet of wire. So I actually cut it a little bit too long because I'm going to have to make some adjustments at the end. And the total length, I think I cut each leg was 33 feet, so that gives me about a foot on each side to deal with. And right now I've got about 6 inches of the copper, the insulation peeled off the copper. I'm going to actually wrap it around this insulator, and I'll show you that as soon as I get done. Okay, see how I have wrapped the copper wire around the insulator, and I've left probably about 2.5 inches left, and that's going to be to hook my coax to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and solder all this up, and I'll show you that when I get done. Okay, now I'm going to solder up the ends. I'm using a propane torch just because it's a little bit easier and quicker than a soldering gun. Get it all good and hot, and put some solder on. Okay, that's one end. I'm going to do the other end, and we'll attach a coax. Okay, now I've got a piece of coax that I have separated the outer shield with the inner conductor, and I've wrapped the inner conductor around one side of the antenna wire, and the outer conductor is wrapped around the other side. I'm going to solder all this up and put some of that paint-on tape, and we'll be ready to hang the antenna and try it out. Okay, I have painted the center of the antenna with some of the liquid electrical tape to seal up the connection real good. Right now it's still a little wet. As soon as it dries, I'm going to also put some electrical tape around it. I have also soldered the ends, put a little loop in them, to tie string to, solder them, and as soon as this dries, I'm going to put some electrical tape up and I'll be ready to hang it. Okay, I've got the inverted V hung up. It's up probably about to the center point, I'd say about 30 feet in the air. And I've got the ends looped down and tied to some nylon string that's tied to a tree on one end and a tree on the other. The frequency resonates at right at 7.3, so I'm going to trim a little bit off, probably about I think I'll start off with about 4 inches on each end and see what that does, and see if it brings the SWR down on the 7.2 area.